Yo, what's good, y'all? Back again, right here in your speakers for another episode of the Runners Club podcast. I am Ian, and with my illustrious co-host,
Courtney Phillips. I'm in the building. I'm in the house. I'm on the Zoom. Okay, I'm in the microphone. I'm in your ear. Okay.
There we go.
And this is the energy I'm coming with today.
I love it. I got my Starbucks. I'm like a third of the way done, fully caffeinated, excited about our guests in today, which you're going to just go ahead and bring them right in so they could chop it with us, give us all of the information about their run crew. Like, I'm enjoying meeting more and more new run crews, not just nationwide, but especially here in the city of Chicago. I'm loving this. This is filling my cup up.
Yeah, I mean, same. It's Women's Month, and we wanted to keep it on trend, and we wanted, we favor our runners. I'm just thinking about it. We have had a couple like non-Black and brown people on here, but it's like few and far between. So we're just keeping the same pattern, keeping the same vibe. And then, with a lot of focus on women running. I saw someone's reel the other day of like this, she lives in London, Black woman. She's a runner, and she was doing a trail run. And it was just like a whole bunch of dudes, like white dudes staring at her. Like, it's like, when you're the only Black girl showing up for a trail run, it's like, I guess we got to do more trail runs. I guess you know what I mean? I also guess we got to put more emphasis and focus on women running, because it's like, what? Like, I mean,
the wilderness has never been a safe space for Black people. So,
but it's where we came from. So who took that from us is the question.
I don't know if I like that statement, but okay, I know where you was going with it.
we what was taken from us was like the ability to be outside and feel free.
Okay, got you.
That's what I'm saying.
Got you. All right, let's go ahead and bring our peoples in.
All right. Okay. All right. We are back, and Ian, I'll let you take it away because you invited these guests on, and I'm so excited to learn more.
Yes. I mean, listen, we are joined today by two of the co-captains of Latinas Run Chicago. Bop, 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 bop. Throw the horns in the air. Listen, like I was saying before we got on, super excited to have you both. I mean, just as we started this podcast, I'm learning more and more about the rich nature and history of the Chicago running community, especially for Black and brown communities. And what I have seen, I'm biracial, I'm Black and Latino, but speaking to so many different Latin run clubs, and I have been amazed to see that y'all groups have been around for so long, and y'all just been doing this and doing this and doing this. So let me just do quick introductions, because I can talk about and compliment y'all for like the next 20 minutes and not even say your name. We are joined today by Diane of Chicago, Latino.
Yeah, Diana Tate, yes.
Diana Tate of Latinas Run Chicago. And my very favorite, Ruthie. I love seeing her at the Tortugas. Always bringing the energy, the smiles, the vibes. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for coming on.
You're welcome. It's a treat being here.
Thank you. Let's, like Courtney said, which I have a hard time doing, is giving the opportunity for y'all to differentiate your voices. So my best place to start is, I'm going to start with Diane. Diane, could you say hi and let everybody know who you are?
Hi, I'm Diana. I am one of the co-captains for Latinas Run Chicago. I'm a Chicago native, born and raised. And so I'm from the southwest side of Chicago. I live on the north side now, but born and raised on the south side. But yeah, that's me.
Southwest side, what neighborhood?
Little Village.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I actually started running with Viento when they first started, like when I had just got it back home from college. So it's very interesting to see, like you said, all the running groups kind of evolve over the years.
I love that. I love that. Okay, Ruthie, let them know who you are.
Ruthie Maldonado, Jewish from Chicago to born Boricua, and we won last night.
I love it.
I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran who came back. I was born and raised in Pilsen, moved back to McKinley, and now live in Brighton Park with my 3 pit bulls.
Oh, not 3 of them. Wow.
Yep, 3 pit bulls. Yeah. And I've been running for years. I started running when I was going into the Air Force in 82, came back in 88, took a bit of a break and started again in 2009, ran my first marathon 2017 at the young age of 58, and have been running marathons since. So I'm the running mama.
I love that. I love that. You were in the Air Force. That's really cool. My mom was also in the Air Force. She was like a hydraulics mechanic in the Air Force.
Okay. See, I was a munitions maintenance inspector. So I inspected the bombs that went on the aircraft. They prepared me to come back to the ghetto.
Oh my God.
I'm familiar with a weapon. Say less.
Yes.
So that's kind of wild. So there's also a risk of the bomb blowing up as you're inspecting it, right?
Yes, actually, my husband was in the bomb plant, and when they were inspecting the bomb, it went off because they didn't ground themselves. And so even though he wasn't behind it, but one of his buddies got he had to get out of the Air Force because of the 3rd-degree burns from
my God.
Yeah, but so my husband had the chaperone from the bomb itself. But I mean, my husband earned his Angel's Wings in 2017, which is why I ran the marathon in 2015, which is why I ran the marathon in his honor. But yeah, so it was very dangerous. But they always emphasize you have to ground yourself before you go near them. So
got you. That you are a badass. Okay, first and foremost. Shout out to you. Okay, Courtney. I mean, I always get a little confused when we have more than one guest because I never know who to start with. I feel like we have already delved into Ruthie's Air Force and badassness. Ruthie, you said you started running marathons in 2017. Were you running any races before that, or was it just recreational?
No, I was running races. I was stationed in Hawaii, and I was running races out in Hawaii from 2015. 2000. When I came back from Hawaii in 1988. Okay, 1985 to 1988. I was running races in Hawaii, but it wasn't like now where I'm OCD with races. So I used to run races, and when I got back to Chicago, like when I said in 2009, I was running a lot of races, and I trained with CES, and they joke because they say, "Where's Ruthie today?" Because anytime a race would come across my screen, I would sign up for it. This year, I'm being more selective. So, yeah. But I'm still running a lot of races. I head out to New York tomorrow to run the New York half. So.
There we go. I love that.
Oh, well, I guess I'm curious too. It's like, how many races have you done, and why did you get into running?
I've always enjoyed running. And how many races? Marathons, 9. Races, a whole lot. Too many. Okay. I've done like 60 half marathons. And
60?
60, yeah.
Oh, wow.
How many have you done this year alone?
2015.
Yeah, well, to Diana's point, like how many are you saying races? Like just generally, how many have you done this year?
Oh, I don't know. I stopped keeping track. 2 years ago, I had 73 races in a year. So,
but it's only March.
So I think you've had. I'm keeping. No, I think but I really 5, right? I think this is your fifth half.
My 5th half, because I've already gone to Houston, Miami, Memphis. So I've been doing a lot of travel. I'm retired. Retired from the federal government. So that's what I do now.
Ruth said, I have time. Okay.
I have time.
Yes. This is my hobby.
I love that. I love that. Okay, we're gonna come back because I need to hear a little bit about your training to do 73 races in a year. What is
Yeah.
that looking like? Diana, please, like, let us know what
Oh,
got you into this sport. I know you mentioned Venados being a part of your origin story, but share more.
yeah, so I am actually, like I said, I was born and raised in a little village. I did sports in high school. I went to a very new school. So like when we would try out for sports, everybody made the team. I mean, there was no cutoffs, right? So talk to my friends from like the suburbs where it was very competitive. I'm like, if you tried out, you made it. So I did sports all of high school, and then I went off to college and like gained more than the 15th than the freshman 15th. I think I was like maybe about 40 pounds overweight for when I went over there. And I left to college at U of I. And my junior year, I went to Costa Rica to study abroad. And so there wasn't much going on. I mean, from being in the city and always like traveling and commuting and having friends from all over the city, I didn't have much going on. I was kind of going crazy. I went to Costa Rica in August when it's like the middle of the rainy season. So not only is there not much going on, but then there's not much you can do when it's raining nonstop all day. And so I went to study abroad to study Spanish, and the girls in the institute were runners. There was about 8 of the girls who were runners, and they would meet in the mornings at 6 a.m. to go running. And here I am trying to get involved because I'm like, there's nothing to do out here. I'm going crazy. And so I was like, well, I'm not a runner. I'll walk. I used to be very athletic. I'm not very athletic now, and I have this extra weight, which makes it a little difficult to move. And so I remember telling the girls, I'm going to go with you guys, but I'm going to walk. If I can walk for the 30 minutes or 45 minutes that you guys are running, it'll be a goal of mine. And then as I started going out with 5 days a week, I was like, okay, I'm going to started jogging. And so I said, by the end of the semester, I want to be able to at least run up that hill. Because if you've been to Costa Rica, I mean, it's super hilly. It's up and down. The altitude is insane. And we were close to the city, so it wasn't as bad as like the rainforest or the mountains, but it was coming from Chicago. There was a change, right? And so my goal is to run up the hill. And of course, me being competitive, I was like, okay, I'm going to do more. So I kept pushing myself to do more and more. And so by December, they're like, we're doing a 10K in San Jose. Do you want to run with me? And I'm like, sure. So I signed up, had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was just like, I just got to run for like an hour and a half and I'm there. Like that was my mindset. Well, it was my first race ever. So I didn't realize I've been to races in Chicago where I see the 5Ks and things like that. So I see all the signage, and that's what I kind of knew about running. So here I am in Costa Rica running, no music, right? This is like 2009. So, I mean, we still didn't have, when you're abroad, you don't have your phone. You're still on a plan. So I didn't have music with me. I didn't have GPS or anything. So I didn't know how far I was running. I just remember being really tired and just seeing hill after hill after hill and having no idea of how much distance I've been running. And I was tired, but I'm not a quitter. So I'm like, I got to just finish this finish line. So after getting to the finish line, everyone's celebrating, all the girls are celebrating. I was like, how do you guys know how far you've been running? Because I feel like I've been running forever and I had no sense of distance. And well, it's on the floor. They mark it on the floor with spray paint.
You didn't look down one time.
No. I'm thinking I'm going to see this beautiful, we see signs where it says, you've hit the 5K mark, you've hit your 6 miles. So and I see kilometers too. And so, that was quite the race. So I said, I'm going to come back with redemption. I'm going to actually educate myself on how to train, how to run, what to expect. And so then when I came back the following spring, I signed up for my first half in Champaign. And I did my first half marathon in 2010. And I was just like, wow. So ever since then, I've done 5 marathons. A friend of us talked me into the 50K. So I did that last year, March. So a year ago, I did my first 50K.
Wow.
I don't know if I'll do one again, maybe. But now I was telling Ruthie, I have a family. I have a 7-year-old. So his football schedule, baseball schedule, that kind of takes up a lot of my time during the week and on the weekend. So right now I was telling Ruthie, I run the most that I've ever ran, but I don't run races as much just because of the time and, the sign up and the weekends and things like that. So right now my goal is to do 100 miles a month. So
I see I was like the calendar behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I run during the week now, and I run at 5 a.m. So it's a very different schedule than what I'm used to when I usually used to run more on the weekends and in the evenings. I still, get out there and do some of the run groups. We have usually about 2 runs a month that Ruthie and I plan out with Latinas Run Chicago. But yeah, I always tell Ruthie, she's like obviously like an idol of mine, but I was like, I'm working hard now so I can retire and then run races every weekend like you. Travel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Listen. Go ahead, Granny.
I'm just saying it's amazing. I mean, these are my goals, like to just continue to run, to continue to have these like monthly goals where I really resonate with what you're doing, Diana, because I'm about to run the LA Marathon this weekend, but then I'm like, okay, I want to keep moving, and I don't necessarily want to sign up for a race right away. But I do want to have a goal that keeps me moving. So I love just like that insight. And then Ruth, you talking about like just traveling and going and showing up for races, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is like, you don't need to like smash it every time. It's just kind of like, it's almost like another run sometimes where you're just like, I know I can do a half marathon. I just but then like signing up and being a part of a larger like race experience is just like the cherry on top. And it's like, I'm just going for a jog with the rest of these people. So cool.
I mean, listen, if there was ever a place to get into running, a tropical like Costa Rica is definitely the place to be outside running. That was awesome. What time of year were you down there?
I was there from August to January. Yeah, so August, right in the middle.
Yeah. So that was decent weather. It wasn't like crazy hot.
No, it's their raining season. So it was, and January is usually when it starts getting nicer. So through Latinas Run, we were able to go to Costa Rica this January. And so me and a couple of girls from the Florida chapters went out there. And I was telling Ruthie how it came full circle, because here I am on this retreat for 9 days with 53 other runners, almost 15 years later. And now I'm like, okay, now I consider myself a runner here. It was, the trip was designed to be like 6 races in 9 days through Costa Rica, through the coast of Costa Rica. Wow. And so every day we'd wake up and go and run 3 to 6 miles. And then we would do an activity. So that was like a runner's paradise. My husband's like, that doesn't sound very fun. That's not a vacation.
That's amazing. That sets the tone for the day. Like, I feel like when you incorporate like physical activity in a vacation, it like gets your blood pumping, gets you those endorphins going. And it's like, you're like, and then you can enjoy the sunshine and relax.
Yeah. And we had a lot of range of like the people that were on this trip. There was like 53 of us. You had people that were like, we're going to jet for it. Like, we're running this race. We got 5 miles. We're going to get it done in 40 minutes. Like, even though there's mountains and terrain and forests and all this stuff going on. And then you had people like, I'm walking. We had people that were like in their 70s, doing the races too. So it was it was a really good experience in terms of like long-term goals and saying, okay, I would love to do this. There was a couple of couples on the group. So I was telling my husband, you have to come on the next group. He's like, no, thank you. He's a CrossFitter. So running to him is like, you're crazy. I'm not running 10 miles for no reason.
Yeah.
There's always a reason. And it usually revolves around food and alcohol. Like, that's what I'm running for. So I can eat and drink just a little bit more than I did before I started running. But listen, like, I love it. Okay, so I love the segue into Latinas Run, because what I did not realize until we had you on the show, that this is not just something just local, just Chicago. This is actually a national chapter, like was it Black Girls Run and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So if either of you could just give us a little background on the national chapter, and then we'll get into what you all are doing here locally in Chicago.
Maria Solis Balthazar, she's the one that started the group, and she was very athletic, kind of like throughout school. And then, having lost her mom and several friends to cancer, she realized the importance of a fit life. And she realized there was not a lot of people that looked like her on the running path. So that's when she created Latinas Run she created Latinas Run, which is male and female, in 2016. And from that, she decided to separate it and have Latinas Run, which was more like a safe space for Hispanic women. And not just Hispanic women, but women of color, somewhere where they could come and run. And since then, and then, of course, when COVID hit, the whole branching, creating of Latinas Run kind of died off a little. We were still there, but there wasn't activity happening. And then, like in the last probably year or two, she started really branching out into a lot of different communities and recruiting. And so now she has ambassadors in New York and Arizona and Texas.
Oh, wow.
And where else, man?
There's an LA chapter as well. Arizona. So we're pretty much in like every major city and growing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Where did it start?
2016.
No, where? Like where is
Florida? It was in Florida where it started.
Got you. Okay.
So she's originally from New York, Maria, and then is in Florida now.
Okay. And right before you hopped on, we were just talking about just like I was talking about just like the way people of color, specifically women of color, feel when they're like out in nature and like having a support group around them and like feeling like, you know, like we can get back to being outside because it's not something we've never had access to or never felt safe in, because that's like, that would be a lie. But like, generally it's like we belong outside and we deserve to be able to get fresh air and participate in these things and feel comfortable. So I'm assuming, especially with like Latinas Run, there was some of that intentionality in that.
Oh, for sure. We did one of the summits that Ruthie and I did before we were official ambassadors was in 2021. We did a summit out in Estes Park, Colorado. And so part of the summit was that there was a 5K run and a half marathon that was like organized by Vacation Races. And so Maria did the summit around those races. So some of us did the 5K, others did the half. And like, if you're Ruthie and you're a superstar, you just do both because that's what you do. And so it was really great. I mean, for us to be from the city, because I mean, like, Ruthie and I are like from the heart of the city, right? So when we see forests and hills and mountains, we're like not in our zone. And so I
feel you.
Yeah. And so to be in a group with women who are runners and, you know, they're hikers and they're like, it's fine. And we're like, no, we want a clear path and a flat path so we could do what we do while we run. And, you know, here we are hiking in the woods and things like that. That was quite an experience. But one of the things that helped is that we had like, part of our summit was we had training and breathing exercises that we did together. We talked about what's the difference between running in that elevation versus running in our home cities and things like that. So we got there 2 days before the race, which I think helped a ton for the half because it was definitely a very different experience. But we ran more since then, and we're both running the half marathon in September, which is in Gallenberg, Tennessee, and that's through the Smoky Mountains. Colorado was the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Ruth, what is your favorite type of run? Like, where do you like to, like, it seems like you sign up for everything, but what are your favorites?
I like Miami.
Okay.
I'm hooked with Miami. I just, Puerto Rican, very proud Puerto Rican, and I love the music.
Yeah.
And Miami has an after party. And you'd love it.
They have a run for the after party.
Band. So after running your half marathon, you get to jam and dance, salsa, bachata, merengue. But I love the warmer climates. I haven't had much luck though, because this year when Miami was good, it was very hot. But went to Houston and it wasn't really hot. Went to Memphis, it wasn't really hot. Just got back from Las Vegas, wasn't really hot. And I'm thinking, right out loud. I like warmer climates. I don't like mud runs. That's why when Diana was in Costa Rica and she was sending the pictures, no, I don't like muddy runs. So, but yeah, no, okay. I like running on solid ground.
Okay. Okay. And so how does Latinas Run support each other like in their, like, I mean, like, what is the support that you see primarily from Latinas Runs? Like, are you guys signing, it sounds like you're signing up for races together, like the Costa Rica trip, that sounds amazing. And so is that like the primary programming? Like, what does that look like?
We're trying, with each of the groups, like ours here in Chicago, we have meetings with Maria, and she tells us like the main 5 groups. We're going to focus on May is Disability Awareness Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, September, Justice Run in I believe, July. And so she lists those races, and then we're trying to get more women of color, more people of color to come out and run along with us. And the support is just basically everyone's included. I mean, it's not like we're excluding anybody from joining Latinas Run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we've had conversations with other people who have like specific groups where it's like, I think it's great that it's specific and inclusive. Like to have the focus on Latinas and on Latinos, like that's important because that is what's needed. And of course, and it's like there's so much ground to cover in just that. But of course, like it's not, I don't see it as exclusive. I just see it as focus, where it's like, come, but when you come, know that like we're going to be celebrating like and focusing on like, not necessarily, but like it's going to be centered in Latina culture. And that is okay.
So one thing that we do, like, going back to what Ruthie said, so like family, obviously growing up Latina and is still like being a family that's very close. I'm 1 out of 5. And so like family is obviously very important, right? So there's times where, I come by myself because I get to clear my schedule and my husband's out holding down the fort at home. But there's times where like Chad and my son show up, and they come running with us. And so, really showing that family side of things, because sometimes that's kind of what holds us back as moms, as professionals, as women, is that we have other responsibilities, right? So like really creating that space for us to say, hey, you can still be a good mom, you can still be a good wife, you can still be a good, have a corporate career and still have a hobby and be able to do that. I feel like that's pretty key for us. And so as we're thinking about programming this year and next year, is really holding that safe space and doing more intimate, like programming for women only. But for the most part right now, our runs are open to everyone.
Yeah.
Love that. That's fire. And I think it is very important to hold space, especially for the multifaceted woman, a wife, a mother. I mean, so it as a well, I'm a parent, been a single parent since I was 67 years old. So I can kind of relate to some of the what do you call it? Some of the obstacles that it takes to balance working, parenting, and having like, a personal life, going out, having hobbies and stuff like that. Uh, but growing up in this space, so watching my mom, watching now I'm 33, and watching some of my female friends start families, have all of that stuff, and not feel like they have the ability to make times for themselves and stuff like that. Like having that built into the makeup of your run club is beautiful and dope to hear, because women need that. Moms need that. Career women need that space to unwind, unloose, and let go. Like as men, like we have it, we make time for that, and we do that. And a lot of time, it's due to the sacrifice that our partners make. And so, being able to y'all being able to create that space, and then giving me as a partner the opportunity, like your husband does, take the kids, hold down the fort, deal with the breakfast or the dinner and whatnot while you go out, get these miles and enjoy yourself is super fire. I know here in Chicago, kind of like to Courtney's point, I know here in Chicago, and from my perspective, is predominantly like Puerto Rican and Mexican. In the Chicago chapter, do you have other Latin Southern American communities, and like Venezuelan or Brazilian, Argentinian, Central American? Like, do you see other people kind of making up the body of Latina Run Chicago?
I do, as a matter of fact, and it's funny because I grew up in Chicago, but I always think it's only Mexican and Puerto Rican. And I'm floored when somebody tells me they're Colombian or they're from Venezuela. Damn, I thought you were Puerto Rican. You look like me, you're Puerto Rican. I thought Diana was Puerto Rican. I swear I thought she was.
Okay, I thought so too. What are you, Diana?
No, I'm Mexican. Yeah, I'm Mexican.
What?
Both parents. Yeah, I get that a lot, and I think it's because, when I talk in Spanish, it's super loud, like it's loud and fast, and so people are like, "Wait a minute, it feels like you're not Mexican, you're something else." I'm like, "No, I'm Mexican."
It's the speed. The speed gives Puerto Rican.
Yeah, it's always, I've had people ask me if I'm Belizean, which I was like, no, but I guess I see it. And I also tan I'm tan now because I just got back from Costa Rica, and like I said, we're outside 9 days straight. But yeah, so to your point, that's kind of like what we want to also highlight, right? There's more to Latin culture than Mexican and Puerto Ricans. And I feel like when we start seeing our other chapters in the East Coast and West Coast, you start to see that. There's people, they're, third generation Latino, and they still identify as Latino. They're not less Latino than the people, than us first generation. So I think that's the beauty of it, right? And so we always say, as long as you identify Latino, like we're not going to like check your ancestry and say, wait a minute, there's not. Right. But we really want to. Our main focus is really showing representation, because we still see it. Ruthie sees it when she goes to these different cities, and you don't see as many of us running, right? You don't see as many people on the race that are brown and Black. So it's one of our goals is to just show like, hey, we can have that as a hobby too. That could be something that we can, runners can be something that we identify as, even if we don't look like the traditional Olympic runner that you would see on the Olympics. So
let me ask you, if you did have a test to get in to prove that you were Latino enough, what would be on the test?
Let me see your Puerto Rican flag.
Is it would not, let me just see it, but is it hanging up in the living room over the TV?
I was going to tell you something. I was going to put it here.
Yeah. It was, I'll tell you something. My husband's not Latino. And so he was in a work call, and he's like, my wife's Mexican. They're like, oh, really? And so one of his coworkers said, so do you know what the chancla is? And he goes, yeah, I know what the chancla is. And my wife has a really good aim. And he's like, okay, so you're right. You're married to a Latina. And so it was just a
target practice.
Like, if you know what a chancla is.
I love that. I love that. So I'm Black, but I'm also Honduran and Nicaraguan. Do you have any runners from those communities in Chicago? I know it's like very small here in Chicago, but do you have any runners from those places?
Yeah, I know a lot of like Honduran people from college, but not like they're necessarily runners. But I think that in terms of just like identifying, like so my husband's Black and my son is, I always tell him you're Blaxican. And he goes, no, Mom, I'm Black. He's like, I'm Black. And I said, okay, you're 7 years old. I just want you to identify yourself, as ethnic, whether it be one side or the other. And so, it's interesting that you say that, because he always says he's Black. And recently I had a cousin come from California from my side, on the Mexican side. And he looked at my cousin and said, I'm Latino. And I know a little bit of Spanish. And so I looked at chat and I said, okay, he's embracing his Latino side. And he's like, yo sé español un poquito. And I'm like, okay, he's embracing it. So it's interesting to hear. Yeah, I love the mixes of nationalities. I think with us in Chicago, it's and it's something that we've always kind of like highlighted to Maria as we have conversation with her about the demographic and the layout of the city, is that Chicago is very segregated. I mean, there's no way to put it around it, right? And so it wasn't until I started having more friends on the north side that I realized there's more to Latino than just Mexican and Puerto Rican, right? You have people from Honduras, Ecuador, El Salvador, Belize. Like there is a melting pot of Latinos, but because we, growing up in Little Village, it's Little Mexico. Everyone, for the most part, is Mexican. I mean, there's not a lot of other, at the time when I grew up there in the 90s, there wasn't a lot of other, ethnic groups. So I think that as we're expanding the city and bringing more awareness to our run club, we want to be able to invite, Latinos that are from other countries and not just, like the Puerto Rican and Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love to hear that. And I love the story about your son. I mean, growing up biracial, like I grew up in my household with my mother who was Black. And so I grew up predominantly in Black spaces. And, as a child, you kind of want to like fit in and stuff like that. So, you kind of like, I didn't want to learn Spanish when I was little for dumb reasons and stuff like that. And I probably spoke on this podcast before, like I coming into my being an adult, I've started to really, really seek that my Latino side of me and really like get into learning the language, get into learning the culture, like get into the community, especially. And it's been running that has mostly introduced me to the Latin community. Of course, when growing up with my dad, I done went to a whole bunch of Puerto Rican parties. Okay, listen, I done been sitting there with my plate watching my dad dance with a plethora of people. Okay, but actually like engaging myself, it's been the sport of running that's really brought me to the community and just seeing what being Latino is from a bunch of different cultures, and it's been beautiful to kind of like arrive there and stuff like that. So I'm sending all of the love to your son and his biracial journey, because it's going to be a journey. Okay.
Yeah. And we try to embrace it. Like I told my husband, I'm like, if he embraces one side today and another, as long as he's embracing that he's, ethnic is where the goal is, especially in, America today. You want to show, you want them to know that they're different, but in celebrating the differences is really what we try to highlight. But to your point of just like being able to be in the communities, one of the things that Ruthie and I always talk about is that for the most part in our families, we're like known as the runners, right? Like we don't really have a lot of cousins or sisters that run. I mean, now our sisters run. Like so I have twin sisters that are a year older than me. They're both twins. They both ran the marathon once, and it was partly my influence of having them run the marathon. And so, as we're thinking about how can we make an impact now through our organization, Latinas Run Chicago, we're really trying to partner, and we are partnering. For example, in May, we're doing a 5K with Salcedo Elementary. Well, we're one of the sponsors for the 5K at Salcedo Elementary in Little Village. That's May 13th at 8 a.m. Their goal is to get their students to learn more about running and bring awareness to the sport. And so they do a 5K twice a year. And so this would be their spring 5K. And we're partnering with them. We're trying to get as many people from the running community to sign up and really show, these kids that running can be a hobby. And it is a hobby for a lot of us. Most of us found that hobby when we kind of stepped outside our communities older, like me studying abroad and Ruthie going to the military. And so we really want to showcase that at an early age. So we'll be at Salcedo running the 5K on May 13th.
Yeah, share that information with me so I can share it with our group. Count me in. I'm super down. May 13th.
Nice. Yes, 8 a.m. in Little Village.
I love it. Let's go. I mean, I'm happy to hear. Like I said, I've just been happy to hear and see so many of us, both from Black and Brown communities, just filling up this space and sharing our cultures and mixing and mingling and just being able to transform the space of running in the way that we all are. And like one of I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this conversation. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's only winter, so we're excited for summer because I think that's one of our like goals this year was to have programming through the winter, because as we all know, it's tough to get out there when it's 20 degrees and it's windy and it's easy to hibernate. I think it's only been the past 2 years that I've ran through the whole winter, but normally I'm more of a seasonal runner where I run the marathon and then I kind of take off the holidays because it's the holidays. And then when it's time to get back into running and in the spring around this time, it's like starting all over again. It's like, wow, I can't even run 5 miles without being out of breath because I haven't ran for 3 months. And so I think that, it's an exciting time for the running community in Chicago. And Ruthie and I are really trying to, really stay engaged with through the group throughout the year and not just the summer or marathon season, because it's when it's like the high in Chicago, right? When everybody's like, I'm running the marathon or I'm training with someone to run the marathon. And so we're excited to, what we've done so far. It's only March and we've had a couple of runs, but we have more coming this year.
That's awesome. And what is the range of like age, I guess, in your group? Like what could someone expect when they pull up on you?
I mean, it's all ages. I mean, we have teenagers to like, I'm 35, Ruthie's a retiree. And so I feel like we have.
I'm 64.
Okay,
so
yes.
64 going on 65 and I'm proud of it.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's really all ranges. I mean, like I said, a lot of us, like I know Ruthie's son is, older, so she's kind of like an empty nester now. But we really want to captivate and really get women of all ages and all parts of their lives, because like I was sharing earlier, when I was in college, I definitely had a lot more time to train. And my body was at a different part of life where you can go out all night and still wake up and run 20 miles. Definitely can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, when I run at 5 a.m., I'm in bed by 9:30. Like
exactly.
For real.
Get up at 5 in the morning. Like there's no way I'm going to be out till midnight to run. So, but it's all ages. It's really all ages and people from all different backgrounds. Because we don't run weekly, we really try to get the information out there early enough so people can join us and they know with time where we'll be and what we're doing for our program and our events. Because we want to be able to, really captivate and invite a lot of people that may have to plan a month out to come to our events.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, did you say, I'm getting some feedback, but did you already tell us like how often you meet up regularly? Because you said you had a couple runs over the winter, but like what is like the regular schedule?
The second Thursday of every month.
Okay.
We run out of Lululemon on West Randolph.
Oh, okay. So are you then like sponsored by Lulu? Not yet. Not yet.
They give us their space.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. Which is nice because Peace Runners used to run out of the store, and Jackie he's an ambassador with Lululemon. So we started running with Jack, but then now since they're training for the West Side Half Marathon, they aren't running with us on the Thursday, even though they do come and show the support because they came out and ran with us for the Women's Day, International Women's Day run. But so we run every second Thursday of the month out of Lululemon on the West Side.
That's beautiful. I feel like, we've talked to a lot of run club leaders who, it's like they express how much of a responsibility it is to manage a run club. So to just be committed to like once a month is like that is,
yes,
you can do the rest of your life and come back when, you know what I mean? It's just like, it gives you time to breathe and think about things. And it's like, and then, cause it can get to be a lot. Cause some people have, programming 3 times a week and that's just the normal schedule. It's not even like, marathon training schedule. So, I love that you are making it work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was doing motivational speaking as a volunteer when I worked for the federal government. And so it's like all my vacation time was spent in the public schools, reaching out to our young people. And it's almost like I loved it, but it was a lot of work. So when we started this, because I love running, and if you start trying to have 3 and 4 programs, it really cuts into your life. I love running and I love Latinas Run Chicago, but I'm going to keep on running. And that's why you'll see me with all different run groups, just visiting on the different run groups. But yeah.
And we really do promote that. Like I tell a lot of our attendees and our members when we're running, we're like, we know that because of our demographics, we don't have as much time, right? Like I would love to run every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m., but that's like the middle of dinner time. Like that is the smack middle of dinner time. And so just being able to know that you have that support group and then you can to run when it works for you, right? And you're still running. I have Ruthie on my running on Nike when you can see your leaderboard. And man, I would get past her like a mile for the month. And then all of a sudden she's like 10 miles. And I'm like, okay, I'm giving up.
She got that one extra run in.
One extra run. I think when I looked, I was really ahead. And then of course she had that half. And I was like, okay, she's really gone through. But, just being able to support ourselves from a remote, like, capability and still, be able to have our daily lives, but still be runners is one of the, one of our goals that we have as Latinas Run.
I love that. So then what are some personal goals you have just like moving forward? I know, Diana, you have your 100 miles a month. Is this like a month for the year? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like basically what you're running off of? Or do you have any other things you're looking forward towards?
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of like races itself, Ruthie and I are both running the half marathon and the 13.1 out of the West Side. So we're both doing that in June. So I did it last year. Ruthie was out. I think you were in Nashville that weekend.
Yeah.
Last year. And so we're doing that this year, which we were super excited about, just to be able to like, when I tell people about the 13.1, they're not from Chicago. I'm like, this is historic because it's not any of the traditional run paths that you see when you think of all the races that Chicago has, right? It's normally the lakefront, the loop, and things like that. And so like to be able to go through these parks and they have so much history is a really big treat. And I always tell people, and so here I am recruiting, I'm like, if you want to run your first half, it's like the perfect first half. First, it's flat, right? So it's nice if you're coming from another city, you don't have to worry about the elevation. But it's also like, I want to think about it as like an infinity loop, right? You start off in Garfield Park and then you get to Humboldt Park and you're a fourth done. You get back to Garfield Park and you're halfway done. And then you just have to do 3/4 through Douglas, and I feel like Douglas is close enough to Little Village to say, okay, I'm going, to where I grew up and then coming back. And so it's a nice way to mentally prepare yourself to run versus, other races when you're just going straight there, straight back or whatnot. And then I mentioned earlier that we have that through vacation races, we're doing the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. That's in September. And we have a pretty big group of Latinos and Latina Run members coming from all across the United States to run that. And that's obviously in Tennessee through the mountains. It's on the road, but it'll be through the mountains and it'll be the half, the 13.1.
That sounds gorgeous. And when Ian and I hosted or were the announcers for the inaugural Chicago 13.1 last year, we were told that it's called the Emerald Necklace. Those parks is the emerald necklace. Yeah. So it's like, and during that time of year, everything is super lush and green. I mean, hence the emerald. And so that sounds amazing. And then also speaking of Tennessee, that national park is like was the number one visited national park last year, in the United States. So like, it's gorgeous. And I just like, am so excited for you guys to like see that view. I'm envious. Like, when is it, first of all?
So it's September 8th or 9th.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to be down there the first week of April for spring break. We're taking all the kids down. So I already told my family that we're going to do a 2 to 3 mile hike. And they're like, really? We're on vacation. I'm like, we're just going to walk. I mean, I just want to see the park before I go run 13 miles.
You should. Yeah.
So
it's gorgeous from what I've seen. So that's amazing. And then Ruth, what are you up to?
I've got a few.
Sounds like it.
I've got a few, but when Diana had mentioned my son is older. My son's 34. He was born in 89 and he's running the Chicago Marathon with me. Again, it's his second because he ran the first one with me in honor of his father and my husband. And so he actually signed up this year and got into the lottery. And so I got that, but I'm trying to do the 50 states with the half marathon.
Oh, there we go.
And
this year you're trying to hit all 50 states.
No. I'm doing, so like I got Las Vegas is new. I got Salt Lake City, Utah that's coming up. And I keep doing repeat races because I've been to Tennessee, but not here. So I've got I've got quite a few races already lined up through December, because in December I do Memphis. So I've got
Wow.
several half marathons. And as far as goes, if I don't have 14,000 steps in a day, I'm freaked out because I'm not young like Diana. I don't got that much time, to play with. So but yeah, no, I just really enjoy running, and I'll be sitting here sometimes. I'm watching Creed on TV, and I thought, why am I sitting down? I'll get on my treadmill and start running, watching TV. So it's just, I've always been active. And my son's active too. I've always stayed active and I've enjoyed, I like biking, I like running, I like walking. Don't care for swimming, but I'm trying to.
Listen. You knew what the next question was. You were setting yourself up for that triathlon question,
right?
Well, it's funny because they have an indoor one, so I was just asking them. Midway Mile Chasers did it, so I wrote to say that. Hey, Celia, did you all run that swim pool or? And so she told me, no, we could walk it. I said, oh, because I could float and I could do a little swimming. But the lap of the pool, I can't. She said it's 4 feet. I said, shoot, I'm 5'8". I could walk through that back. No problem. So I'm doing my first indoor triathlon next year. So
amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
I feel like there is a strong divide between swimmers and runners. I'm a good swimmer for the most part, but when I was lifeguarding and people would want to race, I'm like, I'm not going to race in the pool. Let's go outside and race outside. And that's yeah. I mean, I can swim, but I not swimming is one of those sports where I tell my husband, you can swim, like you could not swim for like 5 years and like maybe gain a lot of weight, and you could get in the pool and devour someone that's like, I've been swimming every day. Because it's like riding a bike. You have it, you have it. I mean, you might not be able to swim as fast as you could when you were in shape, but I feel like if you're a strong swimmer, you're a strong swimmer for life.
That technique.
Yeah, it's the technique. Yeah, I remember like we used to race, for fun. And so it was one of those things where I'm like, nope, I'm not going to win in the pool, but let's go run a mile and see who wins. Like I've always been a distance runner.
Where did you lifeguard?
Petrosky Park.
Okay, I was at Washington Park.
Okay, fun. So Petrosky Park, I was there for 3 years and I loved it because it was like where I started doing junior guards and where I started swimming when I was little. So, being from Little Village. And so like going back to that pool was like a dream come true, to just be able to be back in the neighborhood. There was a lot of stuff that went on, but it was nice to be back in the swimming pool. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I don't think they do this anymore. Back in the day, they used to make it like a dome. So it was year round. They would cover the outdoor pool and it would kind of hold up with air. And so it was year round. So I was there year round, which was nice. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fire. I wish they did that. I wish they did that over here in Washington because it's I think like a 50-yard pool. So it's like Olympic length. It's like, it would be perfect for training.
Yeah. I think they stopped. There was like 3 or 4 pools that the park district had that way. I'm sure it was expensive because it was like held up with air, basically.
Yeah.
It was like a dome. And so like, I don't think they do that anymore. But back then, when I was in high school and college, they still had it that way. Yeah.
Chicago needs like all indoor options. Like they need it, like the tracks and stuff like that, make them full, 400-meter tracks indoor, like give us the indoor pools that we can, continue to move our bodies in. Cause it's like, people want to continue to move, but it gets hard.
It's super hard in the winter.
That's why I said when I came back from the military in '88, I became a seasonal runner. Because while I was stationed in Hawaii, I ran every single morning around the base, every single morning. One time I even fell and it was so dark. I could feel something on my leg, but couldn't tell what it was. So I kept running, got back to my barracks, and I looked and I had sliced my leg, my knee. I ended up with 12 stitches.
Oh, no.
But I had not stopped because it was so dark. I didn't. But then when I got back to Chicago in April of '88, I said I became a seasonal runner, and the season was never quite right until 2009 when I ran my first hot chocolate 5K, and I struggled. And then since then, I've been running regularly.
I love that.
That's it. That's good. Listen, I have enjoyed these stories. It's been super awesome. listen, I want to get down. Y'all need to go ahead and make some programming around swimming. There's the Washington Park pool in the summertime when the light is hitting it. It's like crystal clear. It's glistening.
Really?
It's beautiful. Look, we can run around the park, come into the pool, go for a swim.
Do they
That's a
teach
whole little.
lessons? Do they give
That's a whole little
lessons?
duathlon right there.
Heck
But
yeah.
listen, we appreciate y'all for coming on and giving us some backgrounds about you as individual runners, but also about Latinas Run Chicago. Please let our listeners know where we can find you all if you want to share your personal pages, but also the Run Crew's page.
So our Instagram for Latinas Run is Latinas Run Chicago, at Latinas Run Chicago. My Instagram is at ShyMom0207. And Ruthie, I can't remember.
And mine is at Ruth.Delwish. Nice and easy.
I love it.
Awesome.
Something's going on, Courtney. We can't hear you.
I was going to say, I just said, we'll make sure to put that in the show notes so people can check you out and check out Latinas Run Instagram. Like, y'all look so inviting. It looks like you have a great time. I love that you're like going and exploring nature and like doing new things together and like showing your representation, like, you know, the culture of Latinas in all of these different spaces, states, you know, environments. So like, I'm obsessed. And I'm just really grateful that like you both took the time to like come on and tell us about yourself.
Thank you. And check out Latinas Run LA.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They have a run. Well, I think it's doing a marathon, but they have a run at the beach. I want to say it's this Friday. I'll share it with you. I don't know the exact date, but it's a run on the beach, which sounds amazing.
Yeah. So the LA Marathon is on Sunday. So like I'm once that's over, I'll definitely have to check them out. It sounds like everyone does like a once a month thing, or every chapter might have their different schedules, but I'll keep an eye out for Latinas Run LA and I'll make sure to tell them about you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I was getting tired.
Okay, that was great. You know, we take our turns picking out guests, and I honestly love being in this situation where like it's someone that I am not familiar with, and so like this was a little treat, a great conversation. That hour went by so fast.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Like I said, I see Ruthie all the time when I pop out at run clubs because she like everywhere.
I think I've seen her.
Yeah. You probably had. She'd be out.
I know I've seen her. Yeah. Like, so I was never aware of Latinas Run though. So that's like the new thing for me. I like, and the fact that they just like, they meet up once a month. It's like, okay, next time I'm in Chicago, I'm going to see if I like if I'm there that week that they're running, try to pop in on them and definitely check out LA. I feel like that's a vibe.
Let's do it. Well, how are you feeling? How we going? Because like you said, you going into LA Marathon. How are we feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good. I'm a little tired. I just picked up Picasso and Mike from the airport. That's like, you know, one, I live near the airport. I'm also not the type of person where it's like, you know, some people are like, I will call you an Uber myself. Like, I'm not coming to get you. Like, even when I lived in Chicago, I'll come pick you up from Midway. It got to a point where O'Hare was pushing it.
O'Hare is a lot.
Yeah, because I used to live in Lakeview and that wasn't as bad. So I would go and pick somebody up from O'Hare and whatever. But like Midway, I got you. You know what I mean? And I live like as far as I like, it's like the same distance from when I lived in Chicago to Midway from where I live now to LAX. So I'm like, I'll come get you. It's whatever. Their Airbnb is literally 4 blocks away from my house.
Your Airbnb is like a 8-minute drive.
Yeah. Like
the other day.
Right. So like with 8 minutes, it takes a lot. Time is different in LA.
Time is different
when you're driving. 8 minutes, that could actually be kind of far away. Or actually, no, I have it wrong. 8 minutes actually could be very close because it just takes sometimes a little bit longer to get places. So Yeah, I picked him up. We went to John and Vinny's for breakfast, and then I scurried on home, and then we recorded. And I feel pretty good. Like, I ate pasta for breakfast this morning. My carb loading has started now because John and Vinny's has this like, okay, it has begun. Okay, I had fucking carbonara. All right, with like little bacon, the chunky ass bacon, and it's not even bacon. It's like, I'm not Italian. I don't know the right words, but the point is, it was very good, delicious, unctuous, delicious egg noodles with the cream and yeah.
Oh my God.
Great carbonara. Just exactly, chef's kiss. And everybody was satisfied. I feel okay. And my leg hasn't been killing me. I've done hot yoga this week a couple of times. I've been laying on my higher dose mat, getting all my crystal, healing and fucking infrared healing, like I at this point, it is what it is. Like, I've been saying that forever, since basically the beginning of it. I'm like, it is what it is. I don't know. I'm going to show up. It's going to be great. I'm trying to soak in this moment, though, because my friends are in town. Your lights are tripping. I want to take in the fact that like Picasso and Mike are here.
Are they at the bed now?
No, they went to go get the car, and then they're walking around. But those are my running buddies, and like having them here in LA is like it's like so dope, and like being able to like show up and be like, these are my friends, and they're from Chicago. It's like, this is the part that I really been looking forward to, and like it's here now, and I'm very excited. And then next week I get to see you in person and like see the 7 on Sundays people. And it just also warms my heart. And so I'm just trying to feel all the feels and be in the moment.
I love that. I love that for you. Listen, kill that shit. I wanted to hear, I was hoping they was going to be there with you. I didn't know if they staying at your house or not. So I wanted to hear how Picasso feels.
Oh, he's like, what the fuck is marathon training? He literally was like, the other week, he was just like, I hurt in so many different places. He's like, I've never been so tired and so hungry consistently for so long. He's like, this shit just will not end.
They have to both come on afterwards. Like, record a recap.
Like Picasso low key was just like, the fuck. And then when I picked him up, we were talking about the race, and I was like, yeah, well, there's a half happening the same day. And he's like, no one said anything to me about no half on the same day, because he loves half marathons. So I'm just like, we didn't tell you that on purpose, bro. And you said you wanted to do a marathon. So yeah, like, here you go.
Wasn't relevant information.
Right. It wasn't relevant. Exactly. So I
love that.
Yeah. It feels like peas in a pod. And I'm not going to put out their business out, but yeah, they also, I'll just stop right. I'm going to stop right there.
I'm happy. Let's do it. Bow, bow. You hear me? We out here.
Just change the subject.
I love that, man. Listen, kill that shit. I'm pretty sure the listeners are hearing this after you have killed said marathon, but
yeah,
we here. It's finally here. It's been a long journey. We've been talking about it for a few months now, and race day is upon us. So lock that shit in. What nutrition are you taking for race day? Or so you got your own?
What? So I think I'm not gonna run with the water bottle, because the race is sponsored by Noon. So like that's pretty clutch. And so like I'm just gonna drink the Noon and the water that's available, and then I'm doing gels, like caffeinated gels, stuff like that. Joggy just sent me some product, which is like so Ty Haney, who is was the founder, or she is the founder of Outdoor Voices, the athletic brand. She now has founded this brand where it's like, it's CBD supplements and like recovery balm, like gummies and things like that. And it's centered around, and there's also droplets that it's not oil based, it's water based. So then it actually absorbs into your system faster. And it's all about like the runner's high. And like getting you there and like making sure that your run feels as great as possible. And so I'm going to kind of like see how that works. I'm probably going to test a couple out during the shakeout run, like something. I'm going to see how I feel with the droplets probably, or like the gummy during the shakeout run, and I'll probably use that as well. And then I'll come on here and talk about it with you guys, give you guys my review. But yeah, that's kind of, I'm like, and then there's BioFreeze there on the course. Like, I kind of want to just be as hands-free as I can. Cause I'm already dealing with like my leg and shit. I don't want to have to like carry too much stuff or be overdressed or,
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, listen, do the damn thing.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to show up. I'm committed to showing up and trying my best and getting to the finish line.
Okay.
How that happens, we'll just see.
It happens with the power of love and friendship.
Lots of prayer. I'm going to be talking to God throughout the whole thing. Like, just get me to mile 5. Just give me mile 10. All right, maybe 16. Okay, we're almost 16. To 18. Okay. All right, let's get to 20. Yeah. 2 more. 2 more. And then 2 more. That's literally what it's about.
Where's Girl Gang having a cheers section?
My basically at the end point of the half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so because the half is happening the same time, but then they start like at 8 a.m. or something, or like 8 or 9 a.m. So this like much later.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then like their course like takes a turn, and then they do like their own thing. And
Toronto, they had the 5K, the half, and the full starting at the exact same time.
They must not have a lot of participants because that's insane.
That shit sounds great.
You know what I mean? Like, because
you be out here with a pace group just running. Next thing you know, you look up, this is fine print that say half marathon. I'm like, oh, you're so fast.
Right. That's actually really wild because like Chicago Marathon could never. They used to. Remember that we had a guest on that was saying that the Chicago Marathon used to have the 5K on the same day.
Yeah.
But it's like once a race it's a major race, but like once you get over like 40,000 people, if you were to add also another race on top of that, that's so many people in one day. That's insane. That's too many people. I can't hear you, bro.
Oh, my bad.
You way over there, and I was like, I don't know where your mic is. All I hear is whispers. Okay,
I didn't put my foot up.
You just lay back. I said, but where is the mic? Because what?
My bad. Well, that's beautiful. Listen, go ahead, do it. Knock this fucking LA Marathon out so you can be properly prepared for the Speed Project.
Yeah, the Speed Project's about to be lit. How are you feeling? I know you're
I'm ready. I'm excited. Yeah. Let's fucking go. I mean, as far as planning goes, the worst has happened and has been fixed. Now we just
several times,
you feel me? But I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. As a runner, I am ready. I'm enjoying it. I just can't wait to see all the different run crews from all over around the world that's participating. I can't wait to be. It is gonna be my first time in LA, in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy. I'm just fucking excited to get these miles and do fucking fun shit with my friends.
For this to be your first time on the West Coast and to have the opportunity to be like in like these more rural areas and like driving out of LA and into the hills and like up to Vegas, like that's going to be it. I feel like that, like as a first timer visiting the West Coast, like for me, at least what I took in was like the landscape is just so fucking different. Like it's so like, that's the shit that always is puts the impression on me is that like, it's like the fucking landscape. It's like mountain, sky, ocean, blah, blah, da, da. Like it's great. It's great. Cause and we're starting at Santa Monica. So you're literally going to start at the beach. Like basically.
Yep. I'm gonna see ocean.
Yeah, you're gonna see the ocean. Like maybe even it might be worth to just take if you and Karen are hanging out, put your feet in the water, put your feet on the sand. Like
yeah. I've been in the what's that? The Pacific over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been in the Atlantic. I've been in the Atlantic and the Gulf. It's time to put my feet in the Pacific. See how that feels.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm so excited.
And it's salty over there? Is all ocean water salty?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I know when you're fucking with me.
I'm being honest. I don't remember if the water, because it's been so long since I've been down to Miami and on the beach. I just couldn't remember if it was salty or not.
Salty as hell. It's saute. It's just pure salt.
But I know of course. Yeah, of course. The West Coast is salty because they trying to build like factories out there to make fresh water because y'all thirsty.
Well, we're getting plenty of rain.
Yeah. It's supposed to rain on it might rain while we're running.
I would be surprised. Like I'm trying to tell people, like I even told Mike and Picasso, like I was like, y'all, I know you're thinking it's just going to be like this beautiful sunshiny like picturesque thing out here. It's like the sun's going to be shining, sure. But like it's nippy and it's raining all the time. Yeah, it's very nippy. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. It's like, it's cute. Like, but get something. Get something to be comfortable. Get another layer on. You need something because it's not hot.
Okay. All right, say less. We're gonna be properly dressed, properly prepared. I mean, other than us just preparing for TSP, I don't really have no like running updates. I've actually not been running as much as I probably should be leading into this race.
I feel like you said this entire training season.
No, I was running. I was doing a pretty good job. You know, I got my pace group to go down and everything.
Okay.
But for some reason, these last 2.5 weeks, the taper has been tapering.
Yeah, we done tapered.
We done tapered. Like these some fresh ass legs. I'm just hoping my lungs are still there. You feel me?
That's how I feel. I was like, "Ooh, this leg needs to rest. I'm gonna just relax." Okay.
But I will say though, me and Karen had a conversation this morning. We are eye to eye. We are right here. We have agreements that the week after TSP, we are buckling the fuck down. Okay. And we are training. Okay. We have goals. Okay. Like she's trying to beat 130 at the half. And she, for some reason, she finally has come around to the fact that she can still make that happen. Okay, because all of this time she's like, I'm just too out of shape. I'm not the way I was.
She's in the zone. Okay? It's because she's around people who can, you know what I mean? It's like being around people who are faster than you will sharpen you.
That's what I'm hoping. When we move back to Chicago, she'll be spending more time. She'll be training a lot more time with the wind runners. With all of the 7 on Sunday homies that are in that higher speed bracket and stuff like that. Because I'm not giving enough for that. You know, like I'm fun for the warm up and stuff and the cool down, but actual training we can't train together. I'm too fucking slow. But we will be running 5 to 6 days a week. We will be doing strength 2 to 3 times a week. We will be doing our stretching / mobility on the nightly basis. We are buckling down and we are going to be training. She's doing the 130 and a half, under 130 and a half, sub 130. I'm doing a sub 4-hour marathon in Philly come the fall. We are making this shit happen. If I really want to shoot for that 345, but we're gonna see what my half marathon look like. All right. I'm gonna find me a little half before that, see what that's looking like. But I'm shooting for 345 for the full marathon.
I love that. That's beautiful. So question about TSP. How do you guys travel together?
Oh, me and Karen?
Yeah.
Oh, it's first of all, it's wonderful.
Okay.
You know, I love doing things with my partner. Okay, big and small. I love us doing things in tandem. Okay, what I do not like is the need to be at the airport 2 hours before our plane takes off. I don't get that. I do not understand.
That's an exaggeration. She did not literally.
she got it from her parents, where her parents was flying at a time that planes were new. And everything was analog. She had to have paper for every fucking thing. Like, no, like, and it's difficult for me because like a lot of our flights we've been taking have been at the break of dawn. Okay. So we have to show up yesterday to be there for this flight today. That's too much. It's too much. So, but I'm a team player, so I don't make a big deal out of it. But we actually do travel really, really well together.
Are you the only couple that's going to be there?
Yes.
In the group?
Yeah. No, Nez and Rosalie will be there. Yeah, which is awesome. I wish there was more couples. Like, I wish I could have got Maya to come through, be with Game. You know what I'm saying? I wish there was some other, situations happening and stuff like that. I kind of want to do like a couples running situation, but no, unfortunately, it's just the four of us.
Okay.
Which, I might have made a mistake.
Why?
I might have forgot to turn our single king size beds into 2 queen size beds.
You can you? I mean, you still have time.
No, we don't. We checked yesterday. We don't.
I'm in the bed then, because I'm not. You need to figure something out, my G. I'm a volunteer. You got to take care of me.
Yeah, no.
I'm about to be in there sandwiching.
We're gonna put Karen in the middle.
Karen's about to be the motherfucking jelly. Okay.
Yeah, we put Karen in the middle. She's the
peanut butter. We the loaves of bread.
There we go.
We're about to make a sandwich.
Facts. Oh, it's a lot I gotta tell you with that off the podcast, but it's gonna be fun. We travel pretty well together. I do have to remember though that even though we are going together and we will be together, we are packing separately. Okay, like she packs. We don't pack as a couple. We pack as individuals.
Oh,
which
every
is what
time.
I learned. I didn't know that.
What?
I didn't know that.
What did you think? What? How do you pack as a couple?
I mean, okay, like toiletries, right? Like, okay, we both have our individual toothbrushes, but the toothpaste is ours. The soap is ours, and stuff like that. What I realized in Toronto was no, like I need to pack my own lotion, soap, and stuff like that. And if I did not, I needed to ask.
Like, really? Hey, okay. The toiletries is, I see. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, when you're using the same like suitcase or something, like, are you putting your underwears together in one section, like that's what I thought. But like, yeah, if you're packing it,
that's a thought. Like we could just divide, like your bag got toiletries, undies, and shoes. My bag got all of our. We might try that.
Sometimes, that's what Matthew and I do sometimes, where it's just like, it's about packing smart, and make sure we can get everything that we each need in there comfortably, wherever it's at. But if Matthew relies on me to pack body lotion and body soap, body wash. Like, I have all of the little tubes. I do all the little things, and he just packs his razor and is like deodorant.
And that's what I saw.
Wait, you're breaking up.
Oh, we good? I said, can you hear me now? We good? Mm-hmm. Okay. No, when we was going out to Toronto, I saw her grabbing all of that stuff. And I was like, oh shit, we good. You know what I'm saying? I wrapped my toothbrush up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Wow.
We got out to Toronto and it's like, babe, where the lotion? What? My lotion is in my bag. You ain't bringing no lotion?
Damn.
Like, fuck, nigga.
He's gonna have me out here
share lotion and soap and stuff like that. Which she let me use hers. But I didn't. Now I know. Now I got me a little bag, put my little stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming right for LA.
Do you use a bag that I got you for Christmas?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Big facts. Thank you. Actually, no, not for traveling. Like, no, my toiletries, because you got to use a clear bag for traveling. So that bag is in my bathroom.
No. Get pre-check. If you ever are able to get pre-check, I don't even take my stuff out of my bag, and I never use clear things.
I wanted to.
Because then you don't take your shoes off. You ain't got to do all that bullshit.
I told Bae that we should get pre-check. She's like, how much is it? Like $100. She's like, that's not really worth it. I'm like,
it is. It's worth it.
Come on, no. But like, she cool with doing all of the. I did not do it because I know I would feel a little guilty because she's not gonna do it. I can't make her do it.
Yeah.
But once I go through and just leave her ass back there by herself,
then
I'm going to feel guilty.
Yeah.
And what's gonna happen is my $100 is gonna be wasted because she's not gonna pay for the $100. It's not gonna make us say, hey, I don't not want to go in. What's gonna happen is the conversation is you should wait here with me.
Well, are you saying it's $100 for one flight?
No, it's $100 for pre-checks. It's like to get pre-check.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, that's how I was looking at it. So I didn't know if maybe it was like specifically for that flight. That's how much it cost. But I'm like, it kind of is worth it if you're paying, because I paid $86 for global entry, which includes pre-check, and that I get that for 6 years. $86, like that pays for itself every time, and then I don't have to think about it.
Can you break down? Can you just say on here audibly? For so I can just play this in the background. What is global entry? What does it provide you? What conveniences does it give you?
Well, okay. So for those who also are just generally interested, yeah, global entry is great because obviously there's Clear now, which I think I've yet to really discern whether I don't feel like I need Clear because I have global entry and that comes with pre-check, like I said, but like. That is something you can get it as a package, which means you have pre-check every flight that you have because you have a known traveler number and that's just, or like it is what it is. And then global entry is like anytime you leave the country, it's actually crazy how it works because there's been times where like Matthew and I came back from Mexico and we literally I didn't even scan my passport. I literally just put my face up to the screen and it like knew who I was. It literally knew what my passport number was. It knew where I was going. It knew all these things. And I could skip customs. And I just walked straight back into the country. And it's like, some people are freaked out about that, but also it's just like, literally all of that is happening all the time. So, which
would have helped us when we was late for our flight in Toronto.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a separate line for global entry. It's so convenient. Like yeah. And even if I only use it like once a year or whatever, like it's every time I use it, I'm like, oh, it was worth it. And then to renew it, it's like there's a lottery where like it's not a lottery because you can obviously just renew it, but it's either like you randomly get selected for coming in for a meeting to get it renewed. And like Matthew didn't have to go in. I did. So then I had to like go to O'Hare and like, they ask you 3 questions and then you leave and then you have it for another 6 years.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. Listen, I'm here for it. That's because I hate it. I hate it. It burns me on the inside when I'm getting in line and there's that small little letters, TSA pre-check. And that line is empty as fuck.
Every time. I'd be like, goodbye. It's also just like, I don't want to have to open up my bag. I don't want to have to take off my shoes. I don't want to, it's like, I don't want to do that. Yeah.
I got you. Listen, you know what? I know where she keeps her social security card. So I might just register us and just pay for it. And then she's just going to be like.
Well, and then you'll have to trick her into going to the initial meeting. You'd be like,
you gotta go to it.
Yeah, there's like an initial one where it's like it literally is like a 15-minute second. So like next time you go traveling, you're like, yeah, let's go 2 hours early, and then I need us to stop in this one spot real quick, and then you have your meeting, and then you got it.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what words to use. She's gonna be mad at me for a short period of time.
Yeah,
but I know the $86 is non-refundable. You'll go to. If we don't go to the meeting, we lose the money, babe. You have to go. Then she'll go. It's not even a problem.
I'm glad you know Karen. And it'll be fun to see, like, I always ask about the track. Cause like you said, you guys traveled for a race in the past before. And so that's why I was asking. Cause there's always a point in time where everybody, like, because you're comfortable with each other, then it's like, I need to have space.
Toronto wasn't our first time traveling. Where did we go?
I know I feel like there's another race, something like.
I know we went to TRE together. We went to the race together. I think there might have been something else that we did together on a flight. I don't know, but yeah, no, we travel pretty well. We both pretty simple and easy and stuff like that. We usually, I think, I throw her off. We usually pack the night before we leave. We talk about packing every day, every night up until the night that we leave. Yeah. And then we actually do pack. And then we usually like only get like 3-4 hours of sleep.
Sounds about right. Yep. So yeah, okay.
Well, I feel like that is all, folks. Y'all have a fire ass day. I need some food. I'm hungry. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still good off that carbonara. I'll see you next week in person. It's gonna be great. You know what I mean? It's so great.
I'm excited. I am excited to see you. I'm really
I know.
excited. I'm trying to figure out how we can record a podcast in person, but I know we talked about it, and it's probably not a realistic expectation. But
because even today with like Mike and Picasso, I was like, "This is a fucking lot."
Yeah.
So,
let's do it. Let's get off podcast. I got something I gotta tell you before you go off about the rest of your life.
Awesome. Peace, y'all.